Hi everybody. Okay, I just saw a video about this morning. So it may come out a couple of days ago or whenever, but pretty recent. Okay, they have a trial date for the unaliving trial involving Donald Adelson. Now, for a small recap, Donald Adelson is accused of being the mastermind, manipulator, whatever you want to call it, behind the unaliving of Dan Markel. Now, Dan Markel was her son in law. He was married to her daughter, Wendy, with an I. And apparently, she didn't like him enough to orchestrate his unaliving. Now, for a family update, Charlie, her son, is already in prison. Her husband, I think it's her husband Harvey, is somehow involved. Wendy, her daughter, might be involved, although they haven't. I don't think they've indicted her for anything yet. And Donald Adelson is the mother, and she's the next to go on trial. Now the trial date is going to be sometime in June. They didn't give a date. They said sometime in June. Now, the interesting part about that is that, remember, I covered the fact that she wanted to be out on bail before trial. Now, this is before I knew when the trial date was, but now it's more relevant because she could have been out if the circumstances were right, on bail for a couple months at least until her trial in June. Now, the other interesting part here is that if Wendy is going to stick by her mother and defend her or be out for herself and whatever happens there. Okay, also what's interesting is if Wendy, say Wendy doesn't exactly lie, but doesn't tell the whole truth. Now, if she doesn't watch herself, she might be implicated on some other charges of her own. So she better be careful with that, because I always said I found her own story, suspicious because there were too many holes in it. She would say I was there or somewhere. They'd ask her, "Where were you so and so time?" She'd say something, and it'd come out that it wasn't exactly true. She wasn't there, or she was somewhere where she wasn't supposed to be, that kind of thing. And I always said it was a little suspect, but I always wondered if they were going to do something with the information or not. So I don't know. Now, if you happen to be at the camp of wanting justice, and you have to remember that the real victim here is Dan Markel and subsequently his children, because now they have to grow up without a father, right? Okay, so if you want justice for him, you would want everybody involved in the possible unaliving and or the unaliving itself to be implicated for their crimes, right? So that would include Wendy also. So, as always, we're just going to have to, I'm going to watch the trial as much as I can, assuming the Karen Reed's trial is done by then. Because you remember, Karen Reed's trial is going to happen April 1st. And now, apparently, this one's going to happen sometime in June. So we're talking 2 months apart. So hopefully, the one trial will be done before the other one. But if I have to, I'll try to do a little double duty here and cover both of them as much as possible. Now, granted, you have to give me some forgiveness because I'm one person and I can watch kind of two trials at the same time, but I might miss some information because, yeah, you know, only one person. So, but like I said, I'm gonna. I'm really interested in this, so I want to see what happens on both counts. All right, bye guys.